Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Angry and Ornery Show. Great to see a good-looking crowd today. Well, look at there. It seems like one of our audience members has not yet taken a seat. Hopefully he will hear this and take his seat. Doesn't matter. Anyways, welcome, and we are very happy to be here, of course, in Second Life. We are in the fine world, the fine town of Floriance in I can never say that. Florianta, that's it. I'll learn it. Sorry, Florian. Anyways, thank you to Florian for letting us have this space to put our studio and tape our show. If you're watching this on YouTube or Hitbox, we are in Second Life. You should come here too. You just create an avatar. Go to secondlife.com, create an avatar, come into the world, and send a message to me, Zoltan Mint, and I will get you here by sending you a landmark so you can come to our studio. We do this every 2 weeks on a Wednesday night, if everything permits us to do so. Also, I mentioned Hitbox. If you're watching this live on Hitbox, you should know that you can come to Second Life and come in and see it and appear on camera, because once in a while we actually film the audience. Actually, I think every show. But regardless of that, we eventually will end up on YouTube, on the Angry and Ornery channel, where after some post-editing, you can watch the entire show. So, without further ado, let us bring out our co-host, Mr. Lionheart. Come on out here, Mr. Lionheart.
Furniture. I hate it. How are you?
We've only done, almost 2 years of shows, and you still walk over the furniture?
Yeah, it's my thing.
Yeah, we call you Dick Van Dyke, right?
Well, you know what? From now on, you come out from that side of the stage, and I'll come out of the side of the stage and see if you can walk around everything perfectly.
Is that a challenge?
That's a challenge. I'm throwing down the gauntlet.
Well, what kind of bet can we get going here?
I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Talk Lindens, and talk Lindens, okay?
Oh, well, Linda, I was going to say something simple, like you have to watch a movie of my choosing if you fail to do it.
Oh, that's horrible. I would never do that.
Well,
speaking of movies, why don't we talk about some? Have a seat.
I shall.
Please, that is. And
thank you for saying please.
Well, I don't want the audience to think I'm rude. You already know I am.
Oh, yeah, I know. Known that for a long time.
That's right. But you can't help loving me, like Elvis.
I don't... No, it's just that I hope you're going to end up like Elvis, dead on a toilet.
Oh, man.
Oh!
But the problem was Elvis was heavy, and you're way... Oh, never mind. All right, so what about the review? You said you wanted to talk about a TV show you're watching?
I'm gonna scream and yell about a TV show that I'm watching.
Well, before you do, let me just warn the audience that we do have guests, a guest tonight, but we just wanted to get a couple of reviews in here while we can. So go ahead, Lionheart.
As of right now, as of the taping of this show, which is the 1st of July, yay, July, NBC has officially canceled Hannibal.
Yes,
there's going to be no season 4. But I'm really, 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 really confused, and so are a lot of people, because all the critics love it, all the fans love it. There's a huge outcry about it.
Shades of Firefly.
Well, right, but here's the thing, though. This is a story that just posted yesterday from Brian Fuller, the producer of Hannibal and its creator. Apparently, NBC wanted to axe the show after the first season. So why did they keep it around for 3 seasons? The other thing is NBC is now openly negotiating Hannibal to move to another network for its 4th season. So I'm wondering if somehow NBC is going to make money off the tail end of this, and this is just a giant ploy to get more money or make extra money. Because if the show failed, that's NBC's fault, because they waited over 1 year of gap between season 2 and season 3. It was almost like 1 year, 4 months type thing, which is unheard of. So I don't understand why we're only 4 episodes in right now at this point in time, and they've decided to pull the plug when it's getting fantastic ratings. So either A, some little church lady someplace living out someplace has complained, and they don't want the complaints about the films anymore, or B, they're making money by moving it to another network. So,
well, what if it was just the cost? You say it was originally aired on
No.
NBC?
Yeah, but here's the thing. It costs less to make a season of shows like Hannibal, because the way it's made, than it is to make a season of, I'm just picking a random show here, like Blackish or Modern Family. It actually
Right, but
costs
my point
less
is,
money.
if the show becomes popular like it has, and I agree that it's definitely become popular. I see a lot of blogs and people talking about it. Their budget goes up because they have to pay the actors more. They're going to have to get more
That's
extravagant
just it. No,
sets and things like
they don't
that.
have to, because of the way the show is made. It's made by a Canadian company, and it's made kit and caboodle and sold each season to NBC. So NBC never ordered this series to begin with. This company shopped it around and said, "Look, here we go. We have season 1 of this show.
Well, then
We've
maybe the
already made
company's
it."
trying to try to highball NBC,
I don't
and
know.
NBC didn't want to play ball, so they're just going to shop
I
it
don't
to
know.
somewhere else. Like, I think it'll end up on Netflix. That's my guess.
I think it's going to end up someplace. It's fantastic. It's a very intelligent show, and I'm sure people in the audience who I know watch the show, they've said the same exact thing. I think it's too intelligent for some people. So,
Right.
yeah. But
Okay,
anyways, that's
well,
enough. I'm
sad. I
meandering
mean,
on that.
when shows, it seems like a lot of shows that have a lot of fandom behind it get the axe. You know, they cry for a long time, and Firefly certainly was one of the most spectacular examples of that. But
Right.
we'll see. I don't think it's dead.
I don't think it's dead either.
All right, so I'm going to talk about a movie that I just saw it was last weekend. I went and saw Jurassic World, and I know I talked to you a little bit about that, but not on the show. So we have Colin Trevorrow at the helm as a director here, and Amanda Silver as a screenplay. If you notice, there's not too much involvement with Crichton, the author of the books. But so I liked what the preview showed, and I got pretty hyped up, and I had great expectations for this film, especially with Chris Pratt. You and I both love Chris Pratt, I know. I think he's terrific. And indeed, in the movie Jurassic World, he was terrific. But don't go to see the movie for him because he's not in it a lot, believe it or not. He's kind of like almost like somewhere between a main character and a background character, really, which surprised me. I thought they would give him, all of the spotlight, but most of the spotlight fell on Bryce Dallas Howard, which is Ronnie Howard. Of course, you know him as Opie if you're old. He himself a director in many current movies. This is his daughter, and she plays Claire. Kind of the love interest, at least you can kind of predict that, between Pratt and she. And then there's a whole bunch of other people too, including a couple of new kids, and they did a mildly good job. I wouldn't say it was Chris Pratt's best work. He certainly is way better in Guardians of the Galaxy, but I'm not a big fan of Miss Howard's. She's just kind of a wooden, stereotypical character. It wasn't necessarily believable. But you're not going to see Jurassic World for characters, are you?
No.
You want action. You want dinosaurs running around, chomping on things and each other and people, and you're going to get plenty of that in Jurassic World. In fact, where were they going to go with this story? That was my big question, and it ended up being that they create. And by the way, there's no spoilers, people. I'm just telling you what you can read in any preview. They're going to create a super dinosaur, a genetically enhanced dinosaur, so the ratings go up and more people come in and fear this thing. And so they do, and what a surprise! It escapes. And then they have to track it down. So it's not a very long film, and it seemed like about maybe a fourth of it was building up to the escape of the dinosaur. And the rest of it is just dinosaurs running around chomping on people. Now, for being a PG-13 movie, there is not a lot of gore and violence, but there's a lot of deaths to humans. The dinosaurs rip into the humans pretty deliberately and often. So if you like that in the previous movies, then you're going to like this one too, because yeah, you see people pretty much chomped in half. So there's that. But is it a terrific film? No. Is it a super summer blockbuster? No. Unfortunately, and I really was hoping this wasn't true, it's an average movie. I see it doing well in DVD and Netflix views, but overall, I don't think they came in under budget on this thing, or made their money back, I should say. So, it's fun to watch. Very little to no story, extremely predictable, and average acting. And that makes me sad because I really love Chris Pratt. And at one point, he actually is imitating Indiana Jones. And I think Spielberg, who executive produced this, I think he might be grooming him for Indiana Jones. It was like a test run for Indiana Jones. So look for the scenes. He actually poses like Indiana Jones in a few spots in the movie. So anyways, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best, I have to give it a solid 3. And I really wanted it to be a better film. So, but overall, fun to watch. Don't miss it. You'll be probably one of the few people out there that didn't see it, unless, of course, you didn't watch any of the Jurassic Park movies. And if that's the case, shame on you. See the first one. The first one was pretty good. Did you like them, Lionheart?
I like you. I thought the Jurassic Park films were just middle of the road. I didn't think they were fantastic. I didn't think they were horrible.
Certainly not as good.
They're okay. They're okay films. Second one's horrible.
Yes,
but
agreed.
That's
third one is slightly better than horrible.
Right.
And I would rank them: Jurassic Park, the first movie, the best one. The second one would be Jurassic World. I would watch them in that order too, because there's the 2 middle movies. They don't even have to exist for you to understand the fourth movie. So, anyways, that's my review of Jurassic World. What do you got? You got one more?
I got one more. I went to the theater. They let me in yet again. God, it's so weird that they keep doing this. I went and saw Insidious Chapter 3.
Oh, boy.
Well, have you seen the Insidious films?
No, my daughter has, and she seems to really, really enjoy them.
I would suggest you watch the Insidious films, but if you're going to watch them, since 1 and 2 are out now, watch them back to back. Each film's only like an hour and a half long, and it's because things happen in one very random of like a door being open, and it's like, oh, that was random, that's nothing important. But in episode or in chapter 2, as they call it, it explains why that door opened. It's kind of like, oh, that's really freaking neat then that door opened. Mm-hmm. So part 3 or chapter 3 is set years before the first film, and it centers around. Prequel? Yeah, it's a prequel, yes. But it's kind of smart the way that they did it this way, because they're going back and they're telling basically the backstory of Elise, who is the psychic from the first 2 films, played by Lynn Shay. Basically what it is a young girl's being tormented by a demonic spirit, and she has to talk Elise into helping her. And Elise was doing psychic readings but stopped because it was getting too creepy. And it's basically how she, in a better part, became a Ghostbuster and got with the crew that she's with. And, she's kind of pretty cool in this film when she shows up, to kind of kick the demon's ass, to say it as a better way. She's very great actress, and she's done a lot of stuff, but it's a lot of like, oh, she was in that? Oh, she was in that? Type thing, Mm-hmm. She's always been kind of like a background character, and this is her first roles featuring her prominently. But nice. You know what? They're creepy little films. They're rated PG-13. But man, I'm going to tell you what, that night when I went to bed, it was one of those, every shadow in the dark kind of creeped me out. But the big thing is they kind of really tie it, especially at the end, to the first 2 films. Big time. There's a big... Is
this third film the last film, or do you think the franchise continues?
No, they're going to do more, because it's James Wan who did the first 2 films. He had his hand in the third film. James Wan did the Saw franchise, and we saw how long that ran.
It's still running.
Yeah, well, technically they're wanting to do another film, but I think they could do more, but I think they need to do more prequels of Elise and everything that they had going, because it's very interesting storylines of how they busted Ghost. Plus, once again, this isn't a spoiler because the film's been out for a while. At the end of Insidious 2, they kind of start a storyline, but they don't finish it. Everybody assumed that was going to be the storyline of Insidious 3, but it's not. They went back and told the story of how everybody met and everything. It doesn't have a huge cast. I mean, the other big known star in it is Dermot Mulroney's in it. Lee Winnall plays Specs in all 3 films. You would know him from the first Saw film. He was the other guy tied up in the room with Carrie Elves.
Right.
And
we'll give it a rating because we are running way over here.
You know what? I'm going to give it. I'm going to say it's about a solid 3.5, 4. It's an enjoyable, good way to waste about an hour and a half.
Is it the best of the 3, or is number 1?
Yeah, no, it's the best of the 3 because it has a huge creepiness factor. It will scare the bejeepers out of you. So yeah, definitely.
Well, thank you for giving me no room for a segue at all. By the way,
about scaring the bejeepers.
All I can say is we are delighted to have a guest today. She comes to us from the Relay of Life. Please give a warm welcome to Dawn Beam Dreamscape, everyone. Come on out, Dawn.
Hi, everybody.
I will move out of your way.
As she climbs over furniture.
Yeah, I like it. It's my thing.
Dawn Beam Dreamscape, you said that I may call you Dawn, is that correct?
Yes, it's a lot easier to say.
Excellent. Well, first of all, I guess, why don't you tell everybody your involvement in the Relay for Life and how it works on Second Life.
Okay. If you know anything about Relay for Life, we are an organization that raises money for the American Cancer Society. And this year in Second Life, I am the co-chair. We also, I work with Random Padardero, who's our chairperson or event chair, and Stingray Raymaker, who is our ACS liaison. And we have a wonderful staff on our committee that, if not for them, there is no way we could do what we do here. Basically what I do is a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So I'm kind of like, whatever you need, I'm there to help.
Can you tell me, assume that I'm an idiot, which is real easy to do. How does one get involved with the American Cancer Society on a virtual grid? I mean, are they aware of Second Life, or do you have to phone somebody?
Oh, yes, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I am very, very proud to tell you, not only are they aware of us, we started in 2005. We raised $5,000. And then last year, under the direction of Nikki Matheson, we raised $415,000.
No way.
We are the 17th largest relay for life in the world. Not just in the United States. We're talking in the world. We're the 17th largest.
In money you've raised virtually in Second Life.
Yes. That's U.S. dollars. U.S. dollars.
Yeah, right. Which a lot of people might not be aware of, but there's a currency in Second Life called lindens, and those lindens can transfer in and out, and you have to raise a lot of lindens. I believe it's 200 lindens to a real dollar. Is that the exchange rate, basically?
Yeah, so I mean the relayers really worked hard last year, and we have a lot of fun doing it. Cancer, like we talked about before, cancer is a very serious subject.
Sure.
But just because you get a cancer diagnosis doesn't mean you die right there.
Right.
there you still have life. Life is joy, life is sadness, life is fun, life is problems. And when we relay, we all come together. We do all kinds of different activities. For instance, we may have a dance with a DJ. We have had Kitty's Corner, where that's a family oriented activities day. We have had castle building. We have had mega events where we have big shopping events. We also Fantasy Fair. I'm not sure if you've heard of that.
I have.
Yeah, Fantasy Fair has sponsored us as well, and actually did very well this year. We have megas all through the year. Strides, which is our breast cancer awareness. We have, let's see, we just do so much. There is so much fun in doing this. But our biggest thing that we do every single year is we get together and we build a track on 38 to 40 some sims. It just depends on our, number of participants for the year. And we walk that relay track for 24 hours, just like they do in real life.
That's crazy. Cool.
It's awesome. You got to come and join us. You
Well,
have to
perhaps
come
I
and
will.
join us. It is just once you come, you're going to be bitten though, and you'll be back.
Right. Well, I have a comment and then another question, and I think Lionheart does too. But my comment is this: for all of you naysayers out there that think Second Life is nothing more than a bunch of immature adults playing games, did you just hear how much money Relay for Life raised here in this silly little adult game? I want you to think about that and how much you may have donated in real life or not donated in real life, and how hard these people work to raise money for a good cause. So there's my little editorial.
Thank you so much.
Well,
And
I get a
I'm
little
gonna tell you
mad
something.
fighting. I fight the good
Right.
fight, and there's a lot of people are like, no, and I'm not interested. That has nothing to do with me. Yes, it does. And here's a good example of how much good can come of it.
It
Go ahead,
gives us purpose. I mean, there's a lot of people that cannot relay in real life for
Right.
whatever reason. There's people that aren't able to walk, or they're not able to be on the track, or they're not able to be out, in the middle of the night. There's people like me. I live very remotely, and the closest Relay for Life to me is like 2 hours away.
Right.
And I love relay, but if I can sit in the comfort of my chair and relay and raise money, and it gives me purpose, yes, this has been the awesome answer for me.
Well, it's very noble of you. My question is a simple one. Relay for Life originally started in real life as jogging and marathon type of thing. Is that correct?
Well, Dr. Gordy Klatt, over 30 years ago, started. He was diagnosed with cancer, and he wanted to figure out a way to raise awareness and to raise money for the American Cancer Society. So he is the first. He's our father figure or whatever. He founded Relay for Life, and he walked for 24 hours on a track, and his friends paid $25 to walk with them for like an hour.
Nice.
And then it just grew from there. Even like here in Second Life, that, like I said, the first year we raised $5,000, and then last year we raised $415,000. So, it just grows. People love knowing that they're doing something. The American Cancer Society is one of the most transparent organizations for charity. I have numbers. I could throw numbers at you if you want.
No,
but,
I wanted to ask
really
you
is awesome.
about that, the transparency. But before I do, Lionheart, you had a question.
My local office, we handle the relay out here. We do something interesting. I was kind of curious if you guys do it here in SL. We play with the bit of funny side of donations, and I was just kind of curious if you guys did it here in SL, and it's like you can pay to have your neighbor's yard flocked, and basically your neighbor will come out, and the next morning their lawn is filled with pink flamingos, and there'll
There
be a
you
sign
go.
saying, you were flocked by this person for donations for Relay for Walk for Life. Have you guys ever done anything like that here
Oh,
in
yes.
SL?
Oh,
Where
yeah.
so you guys have gone into
Yeah.
Sims and yeah,
We actually had a Stinky. Stinky was a skunk, and you could skunk another team. Flush cancer away. Guess what they used?
I could just
Yeah,
imagine.
flush cancer away. Toilets all over the place. Right.
That's
Nice.
Big meat
fantastic.
bald. We do that all the time. Walk the plank. We also have like jail and bail, and we do have fun with it. I have to say that there are times in our relay, and even in our big relay weekend coming up, we have a memorial hour, and we read, like, anybody can submit a name and a brief little sentence or two about the people that they want to remember. And that is like a really, really heart-wrenching hour. But then the next hour might be superheroes, and everybody gets dressed up like superheroes. And in Second Life, we have a little bit more freedom
Sure.
than in real life. We can do, TP alone, you can go to like 30 events in one night just by TPing here. Now, wouldn't you
True.
like to go to 30 parties a night?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right?
That's awesome.
But
So,
normal people don't tonight.
oh, there you
In your
go.
own mind, maybe.
Yeah, I want your car. So,
I had said that I wanted to mention about transparency, and I don't mean to get so serious about this, but one of the things I hear a lot of people talking about in the media and even just personally is they're afraid to donate because they're afraid about proceeds actually reaching the people that really need them. So you said the Cancer Society is different than most because of their transparency. What are some of the facts and myths that you
okay.
can bust for people
Oh, I'm going to bust
to
you
assure
right now.
them?
Hey,
It's
okay,
not
so
me. It's not me. I'm
Yeah,
just
no,
the
I know.
messenger.
But every dollar, okay, just take this in mind, every dollar that you donate, 72 cents goes towards research, patient support, prevention, education, detection, and treatment. 28% of that goes to support services, which part of that would be management and general expenses. I mean, they have an office, they have to pay rent, they got to pay electricity and that kind of thing. But the majority of that 28% goes towards fundraising expenses. Now, these kind of things would be like, okay, if you register a team in real life and you make so much money, you get a t-shirt. Well, somebody pays for that t-shirt.
Right.
So that would come from that kind of expense. Even here in Second Life, I mean, we get sponsors and stuff like that for the Sims that we use. But, I mean, there are some expenses that we have from time to time, like, the rent on ACS Island. We do have an island, by the way, where
yes,
you
please
can visit.
Tell us about that.
So, and it's here in Second Life. Let me put up a couple of websites too, if you don't mind, real quick, just in local.
Yeah, right. For the post-production, what I'd ask you is to give me that on a note card, Dawn,
Okay.
and then I will
Okay.
plug it into the YouTube video so everybody can see it.
That's great. And well, these are really, really easy. I'll tell them to you too. The one for the American Cancer Society is cancer.org. There you go. That's it.
Can't
And
get
the
easier
one
than that.
I'm telling you, the one for Relay for Life of Second Life is just it. Relay for Life of Second Life, all spelled out, small letters, .org.
Great.
And
So-
you can also get in touch with, I'm going to put their names up there too, Random Padardero, who is our event chair. You can get in touch with me, or you can get in touch with Stingray Raymaker.
Okay. Excellent. Now, what does the Cancer Society think of Second Life or virtual grids for that matter? Do
Well,
they
okay, so
obviously when you deliver those kind of numbers, they're probably very
yeah,
serious about it. But do they
they
think
love us.
have you convinced any of the administration to actually log in here and see what's going on?
Actually, the fact that we have Stingray with us, that is what really shows us that they are convinced that what we do in the virtual world is extremely important. I don't think at first when, back in 2005, I don't think that they really thought that we could get this far. However, not only do we have now a liaison, we also have seen where the American Cancer Society has actually changed their guidelines to include us.
No
Yes.
kidding. That
Yeah,
is
and
so
at
cool.
it's awesome. And
Congratulations.
we went to Texas this year for the big, convention, relay convention, and the very first picture that we see of a relayer was of a Second Life avatar. No kidding. I was like,
Wow.
they know us. It wasn't one of us, but
That's so cool.
but yes, Second Life, yeah, it's like you said before. It's not just like weirdo things and yeah, games
We're all
and
weird.
that kind of stuff.
Well,
Well,
speaking of
yeah, in
weirdo,
a way, but
Lionheart, you had a question?
What's your next event that you have coming up here in the
okay.
future that we
The
can
next
be looking forward
event
to?
then is big relay weekend, and that's going to be July 18th. Actually, that whole week before, we're going to be partying, so come and join us. But July 18th, it'll be open to the general public. We start at 11, or actually our opening ceremony is 10 a.m. And then our first lap is survivor caregivers. The only ones allowed on the track at that time are survivors and caregivers. The rest of us stand on the side, cheer them on, and cry like babies. And
Oh,
then it goes all through the night until 11 o'clock the next morning.
Wow.
well, what a great thing you're doing here. My father-in-law died of cancer just a few years ago, and I'm sure my wife and I will try to do what we can to help you guys now that we are connected with you.
Awesome.
So,
If you go
count
to
us
the
in.
Second Life website, you'll find a place where you can donate on web. You can use a on web donation. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm a little motivated too. I have 3 aunts that died of breast cancer. My grandmother died of ovarian cancer. My mother-in-law died of lung cancer that went to her brain. My father died of lung cancer that went to his brain a year later. But the reason I relay is because I had an 11-year-old nephew who had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and because of treatment that from the American Cancer Society, because of research they were doing, he survived his cancer. He's now
Oh,
36. He's got 2 beautiful children and a
that's
lovely
awesome.
wife, and that's why we do this.
Yep. Well, I'm going to say this on air and on camera, so you know how serious I am. With using AMSA as our intermediary, I would like to have you back at least once a year, if not more, a couple of times a year, so you can continuously promote it in our show.
Awesome,
Um,
thank you.
and get the word out. So that's what we can do to help you just right here.
Wow,
And
thank you. We appreciate that.
right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Dreams. I'm sorry, I'm going to call you Dawn. A wonderful round of applause. Thank you
Thank you
very,
so
very
much, and thank you for having us. Thank you for having me on. I just also want to say thank you to all my relay friends there in the audience that showed
Absolutely,
up, and
absolutely.
to everybody else that came tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, a round of applause for her and her organization. It's awesome. Okay, well, that's going to wrap up. We went a little long, but doggone it, that was worth it. And man, I feel really good about Second Life all of a sudden. Don't you?
What? Who? Yes, yes. I always feel good. I always feel great about Second Life.
Yes.
Definitely.
Well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for coming. Remember, you can catch this live in our studio every other Wednesday. We have guests, we have reviews, we have our attempt at comedy. You can also watch us live on Hitbox every other Wednesday. While you're here, it's also streaming on the internet. And finally, in post-production, we add graphics and music and all types of fun stuff. You can see that on YouTube under the Angry and Ornery channel. So please subscribe to that channel so you can see wonderful guests like we had tonight. Also, leave comments, send us email. There's places to do that in all three of those locations, and we'd like to hear your feedback. I think that's everything. Did I cover everything, Lionheart?
Don't forget to spay and neuter your pets, as Bob Barker used to say.
As does Drew Carey. But anyways, thank you very, very much, and we'll see you all in the movies. Good night.
Good night.